When I was the chef at Longwood Gardens, the director had come to me with a new exhibit that they had in the atrium, and they wanted an ice cream flavor that resembled the feeling of that exhibit. So what I came up with was strawberry, basil, and honey. Today I'm going to make the base, and to that base you can add things as I do. I add the strawberry, basil, and honey, and I called it the Longwood Garden ice cream. We used to sell about 33-gallon containers per week, and I didn't have a machine big enough to produce it in-house, so I sent it out to a local farm, gave them the recipe, and they would produce it for us, which made it a lot easier in the kitchen.
And a reminder to like this video and subscribe to my channel for exclusive recipes and insider techniques helping you avoid the mistakes that I learned from over the years. So I've got 3 cups of heavy cream and 2 cups of whole milk. I'm pouring this together in a 2.5 quart saucepan. And here I've got a vanilla bean that I'm going to split down the middle. Then with the tip of my knife, I'm going to scrape out the inside of the bean and put it into my cream milk mixture. Because we're going to strain this out later, I put the whole vanilla bean in there for extra flavor. And this is the base for basic ice cream if you just want to make vanilla. To this base, you can add any kind of flavoring you like. Here I'm picking a 1/4 cup of basil leaves, then I'm going to give them a rough chop and put the basil in the pot. This is how we incorporate an intense amount of basil flavor into the ice cream base. Now I'm going to turn up my heat on medium until the mixture reaches a temperature of 170 to 180 degrees. Here I have 8 eggs, and I'm going to separate the whites and the yolks. To my yolks, I'm going to add 1 cup of granulated sugar and whisk that together until you have a smooth mixture. Do it about a minute or so. I'm going back to the ice cream base mixture, and I'm making sure we're up to temperature. Here we are at 174 degrees, and that's just fine. I'm going to strain out the liquid into a fine mesh strainer into the egg yolk sugar mixture. It's important that you do this a little at a time to temper the egg yolks so they don't cook on you. Once everything's incorporated, I'm going to strain the liquid again because sometimes you can get little egg particles if your liquid was too hot, and just to be safe, I'm going to do it a second time. This liquid ice cream base is going into your refrigerator for several hours until it gets around 36 degrees or less. The colder the better. Without it being frozen, it's best to churn your ice cream later.
So I wanted to take a minute to explain what I'm doing here with the strawberries. I'm making a simple syrup. It's 1 part sugar to 1 part water. So I have a 1/2 cup of sugar and a 1/2 cup of water. And I'm mixing that together and I'm boiling it for about 5 to 7 minutes. It's gonna make a nice thick syrup. To that, I'm gonna add the strawberries and I'm gonna puree them. What that's gonna do is it's gonna keep the color of my strawberries nice and red. If you cook strawberries with sugar for a while, it turns this off color and it doesn't look natural in your ice cream. So this is my way of just kind of figuring out how to keep the red color in the strawberries. Once it's pureed in the blender, I'm gonna let it set up in the refrigerator for an hour or 2 to let it thicken, and then I'm gonna add it to my ice cream in the final moments.
Now my liquid has gotten down to 36 degrees or less, and I'm pouring it into my ice cream machine on speed 1.
Something worth mentioning is the kind of ice cream makers that are out there. So if you have the Kitchenaid mixer, the 4.5 quart mixer, this bowl here you can buy as an accessory, and what it does is it freezes. So you freeze it for 24 hours, and then you spin your ice cream in there with a special paddle that goes on the attachment. I find that the easiest. I mean, you can buy a Cuisinart where you don't have to freeze the bowl, but it's a bit more expensive and it doesn't hold as much ice cream in the Cuisinart. And there's other brands out there, but I just find this the cheapest and the simplest. This is a knockoff brand from the Kitchenaid. It only cost me 59 bucks. You can buy the Kitchenaid for $99.
But here's a cheap and inexpensive way to make ice cream.
I'm going to churn this ice cream base mixture anywhere from 20 minutes to 35 minutes. Depending on what kind of ice cream machine you have and how effective it is, the consistency we're looking for is soft serve ice cream, as you see here. So churn your ice cream until it looks like soft serve. Now I'm ready to add my strawberry syrup and my honey. I'm lightly mixing this just a few turns so you can see the strawberry swirl in the mixture. If you do it too much, you'll end up with all pink ice cream. So I just want a little bit of swirl. You see here the consistency we're looking for, and I'm going to let this sit in the freezer for a few hours until it sets. I've got my ice cream scooper. I'm going to get a few scoops of ice cream in a bowl, garnish with some fresh diced strawberries, and a few streams of honey, garnishing with small basil leaves on top. And there you have it, homemade ice cream with strawberry, honey, and basil.